The war without smoke. There are wars that scar the earth, and then there are wars that scar the mind. History remembers the loud ones, the explosions, the collapsing buildings, the black and white photographs of soldiers frozen in time. From the trenches of World War I to the atomic shadow of World War II, destruction was visible. Smoke rose into the sky. Borders shifted on maps. Victory was declared in ink. But this war? It leaves no smoke. No sirens echo through the night. No headlines declare invasion. No official declaration is signed before the cameras. And yet, something is happening. A conflict so subtle, so patient, so sophisticated that entire generations are living inside it without ever recognizing its existence. This is not a war for territory. It is a war for influence. It is not fought with missiles. It is fought with meaning. Meaning determines perception. Perception determines belief. Belief determines behavior. And behavior determines the future. This is the architecture of the silent war. The new battlefield. The battlefield is no longer a border. It is digital. It stretches across servers humming in underground facilities. It pulses through fiber optic cables laid beneath oceans. It orbits above us in satellites, and it glows quietly in the palms of our hands. It exists inside platforms controlled by corporations like Meta, Google, and TikTok. But this war is not about the platforms themselves. It is about what flows through them. Information, narratives, emotion, attention. Every scroll is a psychological corridor. Every notification is a behavioral trigger. Every recommendation is a subtle nudge shaped by predictive models trained on billions of interactions. You think you are browsing, but you are being studied. You think you are choosing, but the battlefield is designed to choose for you. Algorithms do not ask what is true. They ask what keeps you engaged. And engagement often favors outrage over nuance, speed over depth, emotion over evidence. The result? A reality customized for every individual, until shared reality itself begins to fracture. Data is the new oil of power. In previous centuries, empires were built on land. In the industrial age, they were built on oil. Today, power is built on data. Not just what you say, but how long you pause, what you hesitate over, what you ignore, what you rewatch, what you type and delete. Intelligence agencies such as the National Security Agency once pushed the boundaries of surveillance in the name of national security. But in the modern era, surveillance has become commercialized. Corporations collect behavioral data at a scale no empire in history ever possessed. This data does not merely record the present, it predicts the future. Data predicts elections. Data predicts unrest. Data predicts desire. Data predicts vulnerability. When a system knows what angers you before you consciously articulate it, it can present stimuli that amplify that anger. When it knows what comforts you, it can keep you inside digital environments longer. Whoever understands behavior can shape behavior. And whoever shapes behavior reshapes society. Quietly, incrementally, without smoke. The silent war is not about gathering information. It is about engineering outcomes. The psychological front line. The most dangerous battlefield is the human mind. The silent war uses fear as fuel, outrage as oxygen, division as strategy. During the COVID-19 pandemic, the world witnessed how quickly trust can fracture under pressure. Information flooded faster than facts. Scientific updates evolved in real time. Media cycles intensified uncertainty. Communities split over masks. Families divided over vaccines. Friendships dissolved over political interpretations. It was not just a health crisis. It was a stress test for civilization. And it exposed a crucial vulnerability. A divided population is easier to manipulate than a united one. When citizens distrust institutions, they search for alternative narratives. When they distrust each other, polarization deepens. When polarization deepens, compromise becomes impossible. In the silent war, division is not collateral damage, it is strategic terrain. The more fragmented a society becomes, the easier it is to influence in pieces. Economic weapons without explosions. Modern warfare does not always require armies. Sanctions can paralyze nations, supply chain disruptions can destabilize continents, currency manipulation can weaken entire economies, trade dependencies can become strategic leverage. The ripple effects of the Russia-Ukraine war did not stay confined to the battlefield. They moved through oil markets, they disrupted grain exports, they strained shipping lanes, they intensified global inflation. Food prices rose thousands of miles away from the conflict zone. Energy shortages reshaped domestic policies in distant nations. Central banks adjusted interest rates in response to geopolitical tremors. The war was regional. The consequences were global. Because in the silent war, economics is a weapon. Not always to destroy, but to pressure, to influence, to negotiate from strength. Financial systems are interconnected. A shock in one region sends waves across the planet. And these waves reshape political decisions, alliances, and public sentiment. Without a single bomb falling on their soil, nations feel the strain. That is the power of economic warfare. Invisible, systemic, relentless. Closing reflection of these acts. The silent war reshaping the world is not fiction. It is the convergence of technology, psychology, economics, and geopolitics. It does not announce itself. It does not wear a uniform. It does not march in formation. It operates through algorithms instead of artillery, data instead of drones, sanctions instead of soldiers, narratives instead of nuclear threats. And the most unsettling truth, there are no civilians in this war. Every individual with a screen is on the battlefield. Every economy is interconnected. Every mind is a potential front line. The silent war continues, not in the skies above us, but in the systems around us and the thoughts within us. The rise of digital empires. For most of recorded history, nations dominated the world stage. Capitals and parliaments determined the rules. Kings, presidents, and generals held the levers of power. Borders were drawn with ink and blood. Armies marched and armies fell. Today, that old map is obsolete. Power is no longer confined to a capital city. It no longer resides solely in elected offices or military strongholds. Corporations now rival governments in influence, sometimes surpassing them. A single platform can suspend the account of a world leader. A single algorithm can determine what billions of people see, hear, and feel each day. Artificial intelligence is no longer just a tool of convenience. It is a force multiplier. It can determine which job applications are read, which news stories trend, and which cultural narratives are amplified. It can reshape education, automate labor markets, invent art, and even influence warfare in ways that armies cannot. Power is no longer centralized, it is decentralized across code, and code is invisible. Invisible power is harder to challenge than a tank. It does not march, it does not fire, and it leaves no rubble in its wake. Yet it can topple reputations, destabilize economies, and shift public opinion with a keystroke. The rise of digital empires marks the beginning of a new era, one where influence is measured in data points, attention spans, and algorithmic amplification rather than territory, treaties, or treaties enforced by duns. Every click, every share, every interaction feeds this power, and those who control it are quietly shaping the future, often without the world realizing the battle has already begun. The battle for truth. Once, truth was debated in libraries, lecture halls, and courtrooms. It moved slowly, tested through scrutiny, reflection, and evidence. Now, truth is fought over in timelines and notifications. It is a battlefield of virality, engagement, and attention metrics. Deepfakes make reality pliable, Bot networks amplify outrage. Disinformation spreads faster than correction, faster than comprehension, faster than reason. The result? Exhaustion, mental fatigue, cognitive overload. People stop verifying, they stop questioning, they retreat into communities that confirm their beliefs rather than challenge them. And when trust collapses, institutions weaken, democracy becomes vulnerable, markets become volatile, communities fragment. The silent war does not need to destroy buildings or armies. It only needs to destroy belief. Belief in facts, in unity, in shared reality. The battlefield is not land, it is mind space. And the casualties are invisible, measured not in bodies but in the erosion of trust, cohesion, and understanding. Those who dominate the narrative dominate the future. And in the age of digital empires, narrative is the most lethal weapon. Cultural re-engineering. Culture is never static. It evolves, shifts, and transforms with each generation. But today, culture is not just evolving organically, it is being engineered. Through media, entertainment, advertising, education, and relentless narrative repetition, culture is being molded. What was once taboo becomes normalized. What was once respected becomes questioned. What was once unquestionable becomes debatable. Values shift, language evolves, moral frameworks are contested, ideologies collide, movements rise overnight, icons are canonized and demonized in equal measure. Memes, hashtags, and viral videos become tools of persuasion as powerful as speeches, sermons, or manifestos. This is not inherently good or evil, but it is undeniable. Whoever shapes culture shapes the subconscious lens through which future generations view reality. Whoever defines normal controls the trajectory of civilization. And in the silent war, the definition of normal is contested daily, pixel by pixel, post by post, story by story. Civilizations fall not only from outside invasion, but from internal narrative collapse. And those who control the narrative of culture are quietly rewriting the rules of engagement before anyone even realizes a battle is taking place. The human cost beneath the surface. The silent war is not only geopolitical, it is deeply personal. Rates of anxiety, depression, and stress are skyrocketing. Digital dependency deepens. Social comparison replaces contentment. Outrage replaces empathy. Speed replaces reflection. People are more connected than ever, yet lonelier than ever. Notifications replace conversations. Scrolls replace contemplation. Approval metrics replace validation from real-world relationships. The war is reshaping the human nervous system. It conditions urgency, rewards reaction, and punishes patience. Over time, it changes how humans think, feel, and make decisions. This is not an exaggeration. The rise of constant connectivity, surveillance, and targeted messaging creates a generation conditioned for distraction, susceptible to manipulation, and primed for division. The war leaves no physical scar, but its psychological impact is profound. It changes identity, perception, and ultimately the trajectory of life itself. And here's the truth the silent war hides. Those who control the flow of information control the inner world of millions, shaping not just opinion, but emotion, desire, and belief. Artificial intelligence, the next front. Artificial intelligence is no longer a tool. It is a force multiplier. Artificial intelligence can optimize logistics, detect disease, and enhance productivity. It can predict behavior, anticipate needs, and solve problems previously deemed unsolvable. But artificial intelligence can also automate manipulation, generate propaganda at scale, create deepfakes indistinguishable from reality, and accelerate cyber warfare. It can influence minds faster than any human could. The question is no longer whether artificial intelligence will shape the future. It already is. The question is, who will control its direction? The silent war is evolving. It is accelerating. Algorithms are learning faster than oversight can respond. Systems are adapting faster than regulations can keep pace. And every day, the reach of technology expands into homes, classrooms, workplaces. even the intimate recesses of thought and emotion. The next great battles will not be fought with guns or tanks. They will be fought through code, through influence, and through the manipulation of perception itself. Those who understand AI, its psychology, and its reach will hold unprecedented power. Those who do not will be reshaped, quietly, invisibly, irreversibly, by forces they may never even see. The silent war has found its sharpest spear: intelligence without conscience, speed without reflection, and power without accountability. And yet, even here, awareness is armor. Critical thinking is a shield. Knowledge is a weapon. Because in the age of invisible empires and synthetic truth, the mind is the last battlefield and the only place where victory still matters. Fragmentation as strategy. In the silent war, fragmentation is not a mistake. It is intentional. A society divided against itself is like a river split into countless streams, slow, shallow, and controllable. One strong current can be dammed, redirected, or polluted, but a river flowing freely in unity is unstoppable. When citizens distrust media, government, science, and even each other, consensus collapses, decisions become impossible, policy is stalled, communities fracture. Division becomes self-sustaining. Social media bubbles reinforce bias. Polarized news cycles reward outrage. Neighborhoods, workplaces, and even families become microcosms of conflict. Every argument, every accusation, every viral post chips away at cohesion. Slowly, quietly, relentlessly. And this is the point. In the silent war, division is not accidental. It is a weapon. It weakens societies from the inside. It destabilizes trust. It makes the collective mind malleable to influence and manipulation. Unity requires effort, empathy, and reflection, all things that the silent war discourages, all things that the digital battlefield exploits. The illusion of choice. Freedom is not gone, but freedom is filtered, curated, and conditioned. Algorithms decide what you see first. Feeds personalize reality. Recommendations narrow perspective. What appears as choice is often selection by design. You believe you are exploring the world. You think you are making independent decisions. But the world presented to you is meticulously selected. Each suggestion, each trending post, each ad, each news headline is part of a larger system shaping perception, shaping attention, shaping thought. The silent war does not remove freedom. It does something far more insidious. It reshapes the environment in which freedom operates. It nudges, it guides, it conditions, it primes. And the subtlety is its power. Most people never notice it until their opinions, decisions, and even emotions have been quietly guided. This is the battlefield of the mind. And here, awareness is the only unhackable shield. The turning point. Every war has a turning point. In the silent war, that point is awareness. When individuals recognize manipulation, they reclaim agency. They stop being passive participants. They begin questioning algorithms, media, narratives, and incentives. Critical thinking becomes resistance. Media literacy becomes defense. Patience becomes power. The digital landscape may overwhelm, it may confuse, it may divide. But once consciousness wakes, the tide shifts. The silent war cannot survive widespread awareness. Its strength lies entirely in invisibility. The more minds awaken, the less fertile the soil for disinformation, polarization, and control. And awareness spreads like light in darkness, subtle, persistent, unstoppable. The future being written now. This war will not end with surrender. It will evolve. Technology will advance faster than legislation. Narratives will mutate faster than scrutiny. Influence will adapt faster than reflection. Power structures will bend, break, and rebuild, but one constant will remain: human consciousness. If attention is surrendered blindly, the war intensifies. Systems become more precise, more manipulative, more pervasive. Algorithms will predict thought before it is conscious. Deepfakes will erase certainty. Influence will be invisible and absolute. If discernment is cultivated, the balance shifts. Awareness creates friction in the system. Critical thinking is resistance. Connection becomes intentional. Information becomes wisdom. Every choice counts. Every action matters. Every thought is a front line. The silent war is not a distant conflict. It is here. It is now. And its outcome depends on those willing to see it, understand it, and resist it. One thought, one decision, one conscious moment at a time. Final reflection: the global battlefield within. The silent war reshaping the world is not a conspiracy theory. It is a reality of complexity. It is about a rapidly interconnected planet where information travels faster than wisdom, where attention is a commodity, where technology outpaces ethics, where influence travels through invisible channels more powerful than armies. And in this war, there are no spectators. Every share, every click, every belief is participation. Every opinion is a front. Every reaction is a ripple. Every mind is a battlefield. The war is quiet. It leaves no smoke. Yet its impact is global. The most powerful defense is not a law. It is consciousness. It is awareness. It is the ability to pause, reflect, and choose deliberately. Because in a world where reality itself can be manipulated, the awakened mind becomes the ultimate frontier of freedom. The silent war will continue, but the outcome will be determined by those willing to see it, understand it, and resist it.